I saw this image on Twitter. It's kind of cute. A mom having a moment of panic as her kid gets lost in the grocery store. But I did mention that in cohesive societies, it's not as scary when your kid gets lost. One of the most cohesive societies I've ever been to is Japan. And in Japan, pretty much everyone is Japanese. They all have a shared ancestry. They all speak the same language. They all have the same manners and customs through the whole country. There are minor regional differences. They're fun, but they are minor. And that's what cohesion ultimately means. It's easy for the Japanese people to say, hey guys, we're all in this together. And for them to sort of pull together for something like a natural disaster. People around the world remarked at how well the Japanese people worked together after the tsunami. Now, while the whole country isn't super related, right, they're not having inbreeding problems, the fact is they're all still very similar, which means that for a Japanese person, kind of every woman on the street is kind of like his sister. Every man on the street is kind of like his brother. Now, I've been to Japan a couple times. The most recent time, just a couple years back, I stayed with a family, and it was in a major city. Now, the way it worked in that city was kids under 6 get picked up by a school bus, right? The school bus comes right to their house, picks them up, and then brings them to school. Special bus just for kids. Once you were 6, well, now you're a big boy or a big kid, so you're going to take the city bus. Just like everyone else. That's right, 6 years old, walking the streets all alone, jumping on the bus or getting on the train. Well, they're not all alone. They'll get on the bus with the salarymen, people who are going to their job in offices. So this family I stayed with did have a 6-year-old son. So it was his first year getting to and going from school all by himself. And being so young and inexperienced, he did get a little bit lost one day. He came home a little bit late. He was kind of crying. He had gotten lost. And here's the thing about that area. Everyone who saw that kid, in a way, saw their own kid. They saw their own nephew or their grandson. If your kid gets lost around people who are just like you, they'll help them out just like you would. And that little boy ultimately could ask anyone for help and he'd get it. And he did. He got home. So let's look at that funny image again. The mom is upset because the kid is getting lost. But is that what happened when I was in Japan? No, the mom was fine. The dad was fine. They thought this was an important learning experience for their son. He's growing up. He's going to need to learn to deal with getting lost and know that he has the capability to get himself unlost without getting too scared. Although he did get a little bit scared. So instead of the mom worrying that the kid was lost, it was the kid worrying and the mom who was fine. Imagine if you lived in a city of millions of people, and people were a lot like you. They had the same ancestors as you, same language, same religion, same upbringing, most of the same values and beliefs. You were told all the same stories as they were when they grew up. Imagine if you knew your 6-year-old son. If he were to get lost in a city of millions of people, he would have millions of people looking out for him. And how could they not want to help him out? When they see him smile, it reminds them so much of their own son or their own brother back when he was young. And you know what? Of course, I'm a little jealous of them. But I don't want to tear that down. I don't want a bunch of white people going over there and starting to change things. I don't want to take that away from them. I just want that for my people too. The way so many governments are pushing countries towards high levels of multicultural immigration, that really might help fill up factories with low-wage workers. It might get a bunch of fruit picked in the fields, but it doesn't make it easy for those 6-year-olds to safely walk to school alone.